Hello again, folks. Welcome once again to remaking Pikmin in Godot. Let's get right into this here. We've got some nice little numbers on the pellets, which should remind you of the actual game. It's also nice having a little user interface for the player. These numbers indicate how many Pikmin it takes to carry these items. And getting the actual number to show as a texture is a bit of a chore. I mentioned this earlier for the interaction zones. But let's get to some gameplay. Of course, we pop back in here, and we've got one guy. He can grab a pellet. Now they don't move until the Pikmin is actually in position, and they face their target, which is easier to see because of their little nose. I think we can get a little closer here. There he goes. Oops, he bumped into me there. Well, you've all been waiting to see the walls. If we throw one here, you'll notice there's a slight animation to indicate progress, and the walls don't have too much health for testing purposes, and down they go. And now we can get in here. Ooh, this one's gonna take a few more. There we go. Now we've got 5. They'll look at their target as they carry it home. I think this looks pretty dang nice. Now, if you take a look at this, these walls only block the Pikmin I can walk right through. And if they can't get to me, well, then they wait their turn. But there is this wall here on the other side, and I'd like to show you what happens when a wall opens up a new path for the Pikmin. Save that pellet for later. If we were to break open this wall, shouldn't take long. There we go. Give me 1 extra. And if we get them started here, but this wall breaks down, get just a second. And there we go. As soon as the wall is down, they get the signal to move to the quicker path. And that was the real challenge this time around, getting the navigation region to play nice. And with that, you get a few more guys. You get a few more guys here, you get a few more guys there, and that's how the game goes. Back to the editor, you'll notice that when I highlight the navigation region, there are these gaps where the walls are. But if I were to get the obstacle and tell it to not affect at navigation, and then bake the navigation region again, you can see, oh, now they can get through there. That took a long time to figure out. That was the real challenge this week. But what happens here is I do the bake, and it takes a second, and I was so worried not to do the bake. When I asked AI, it said, don't do the bake in real time. So I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't. But in the end, it came to pass that that actually is a completely reasonable way of doing it. So if we go to the dev wall here, the dev wall has its obstacle, which is a navigation obstacle. There's a special node just for that. And then what we do is that when the wall is destroyed, we do that flag I just told you about, set affect navigation mesh, whether or not this obstacle affects it. We say false, and then we bake it again. And if you didn't notice any stuttering earlier, that's because there wasn't any. There's no stuttering when you call it live like this. Now maybe if the level gets complicated enough and there's a ton of stuff going on, baking might be a problem, and I have a backup plan in case that ends up being the case. But this has proven very reasonable. That's all for this week, folks. I hope you had a fun time seeing a little bit about what's going on. That rules. During the outro, too. They seem to get stuck sometimes. Oh, there, he found his home. Excuse me. That's weird. If they don't touch the ground, then they don't leave the thrown state. And I even added a secret collider on top of the pellets to prevent that. That should hopefully push them off. There's like an invisible dome to prevent them getting stuck on top, and yet it still happens sometimes. Either way, we're in pretty good hands. We're knocking down walls, and we just keep making more and more Pikmin. Look at that. They all got it figured out. Teamwork makes the dream work, folks. Thank you so much for watching.